You know, Rick Beato is right. I've been watching a lot of his videos recently, and of course, his channel is a lot bigger than mine, but I am a professional musician. And what I'm specifically talking about is the music industry. It's totally changed, and in some ways for the better, but in other ways not for the better. And I'm specifically a little bit worried about classical music, since that's my main area. Let me tell you what he says, and I'll explain why that's especially hard for us and what I think we can do about it. The way that it used to be was you would get a group together, whether it's a rock group, jazz group, or classical, and you would find somebody who would be interested in pushing you. You could get a radio station, you could get a record label. Sometimes those things went hand in hand. Once you were on a record, the radio station would play it and you would get known in that way. Now, for classical music, of course, you also had competitions you could do, but even back then, I think it meant more that people knew your name and you had played. And if they'd heard your music on the radio, if you had played different venues, you would have a good chance of being promoted. Some of you will say, well, wasn't the old system you just won a major competition and then that would start your career? That was, but you would have to have won first prize of a major competition and maybe several. Tchaikovsky competition, Naumburg competition. But for most people who wanted to have a good concert career, you had to do a lot of different things. And that involved really getting on the radio and getting records. That was the way you got your name out there, by sound. If people heard you on the radio, or if different radio stations promoted you, people would know who you were. And that's why you hear stories of people like Yo-Yo Ma and other soloists, which may not have a lot of big competition wins under their belt, but they performed a lot, they got known, they got their name out there. But as Rick points out, now things are quite different. It used to be that the powers that be were radio station owners, concert presenters, and other people who had power in these areas. But now that's all changed, and now the powers that be are you. You're the person who decides whether or not to listen to music, and I think that's a good and bad thing. What's good about it? Well, what's good about it is that the people who listen are the ones who are in control, and in a way, that's how it should be. You're the people who decide whether or not you like the music, and if you really like the music, you'll continue to listen to it. If you don't like that music, you'll just skip that video. You'll find something else on Spotify or wherever you get your music. This gives people a real chance to make it who might not otherwise have had the chance. Now, the bad part of that, of course, is that with classical music and jazz, you do need to have a little bit of a basis to understand what's going on and to like it. It's a bit of an acquired taste. I will definitely admit that. So that for newcomers, if you're just scrolling through YouTube or you're going through Spotify or iTunes, you may listen to it for 3 seconds, say, I don't get it, and keep going. And that means you're not really giving the music a chance. It takes some time to get used to it. Who's going to advocate for that? Well, I'll tell you what we can't do. We can't just throw our hands up and go, well, I worked hard for all these years to get where I am, and if they don't get it, too bad. Well, all right, then you'll be out of a job. I mean, it's as simple as that. We have to work a little bit harder. If something is an acquired taste, we have to show people how to acquire that taste. We have to find a way to let people know, hey, this stuff is good. You're going to like it. I've talked about this in other videos, but that means playing in schools. That means playing in community centers. That means getting our names out there in any way we can, so that when people do scroll through these different places, these different social media accounts, they'll find us and go, ah, that's that piece I heard the other day. I really want to hear it. Or that's that jazz tune I heard. I really want to see how that drummer works with the saxophonist. We've got to lay the groundwork, especially for something that is an acquired taste. Now, look, I've read your comments, and I know what some of you are going to say. You're going to say, maybe it's just time for classical music or jazz to just go the way of the dinosaurs and not be something we listen to anymore. But my retort to that is really simple, which is it's great music. And great music throughout all of history has lasted. It's changed. That's the difference. It's adapted and changed. So if we want to present this great music, we have to do it in a way that attracts people first to the idea of listening to it. The fact that there's new platforms might make it more challenging. We have to just rise to that challenge. And as composers, we have to write music that's interesting, that people want to hear, and not just music that excites us as composers. And I think this is one of the reasons I really do appreciate people like Rick Beato, who is an everything music type of guy. You hear classical, jazz, rock, pop, everything you can think of, and he's very knowledgeable about all of it. And because he has such a wide range of people watching, he's able to reach a lot of people. And this is one of the main reasons I started this YouTube channel. I want to do the same thing. So if you'd like to help me, don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment and let me know what you think. What paths can we take that I might not have mentioned here? And do you think that classical and jazz is worth preserving, or should we take some other direction? Thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.